Welcome to the Argue Your Point podcast. Here are your hosts, Jeff Mitri and Mason Mitri.
All right, here we go. We got some adjustments to the equipment, and I think you can hear us a lot better, but I also think you can hear the upstairs noise a lot better, but we'll see how it goes. We're at episode number 5, Argue Your Point podcast, and today we're going to be breaking down the Bills-Broncos game.
Yeah, divisional round.
The AFC Divisional Round. Stoked about it. Before we get into all that, we'll briefly break down the Bills-Jags and the key takeaways from that game. All right, let's set the stage. The Bills come down to Denver, travel down to Denver, 12-5. Well, the Broncos finished 14-3, the best record in the AFC, getting the number 1 seed, that first round bye that we all aspired to at the beginning of the season.
Yeah,
I think when the Bills lost against Miami, that was when it was like, okay, first round bye, maybe stop thinking that is a reality. But Bills are coming off their very first road playoff win in the Josh Allen era.
Sean McDermott era too.
Yep, same tandem. But it's a short week for the Bills after playing Sunday and a little banged up, and now they're going on the road to Denver in high altitude on Saturday, 4:30 kickoff. It's going to be a classic playoff contrast where it's reps versus rest, the top seed, a team riding momentum from that Jaguars game. The city is still talking about the Jaguars game. I don't know if we have completely turned the corner to the Broncos. Bo Nix, who I'll admit I forgot that even they played them last season in the wild card round a year from yesterday, but they did. They beat Bo Nix, and that's where they're headed now. A much different Broncos team than it was last year.
Yeah. Last year both teams really earned their spot in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Denver, one of the top 2 teams in NFL, according to record. And Buffalo, they're ready. They've played good teams. They've won to good teams. They've lost to good teams. And when you have numbers up, this game comes down where the elite units collide.
Yeah, I couldn't say it better myself, Mason. Before we get into the whole Denver matchup, and we're going to look at position. We're going to compare the quarterbacks, the defense, obviously, the tight ends, the receivers, things like that. We're going to get into that. But before we do that, we'll talk about the Jags for a little bit. The Bills just punched their ticket to the divisional round by winning the wild card round against Jacksonville, and what do you want to say about that, Mason?
Well, first thing I want to say is our light is off for on air.
Oh, okay.
That's the first thing I want to say.
Yep, I'll turn that on.
And
Good call.
now we're on air.
All right.
Okay. The biggest thing about these football teams is Buffalo versus the Jacksonville game. The Bills got 7 third downs. Top 5 among all the wildcard teams.
Nice.
Jacksonville only got 5, making the bottom half of the playoffs. Those extra conversions really kept the Bills on the field. I wish I could, have the exact stat by stat, play by play, but
we got 7. We converted 7 third downs.
Yeah.
They converted 5 first downs. That's what that is. The third down conversions.
Yeah, but
like you said, that keeps Josh Allen on the field longer, and that's not to be overlooked. That's an important stat right there.
Yeah, it's really third down conversions are really something you can't put in jeopardy. You gotta be a good third down team because third down's gonna come. It's not just going to be like, oh, third down. They really, the Bills, how do I say this? Third down is really essential because you got if the Bills are good in third down, they'll be good. They'll be ready for anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's my think on this. But
yeah, totally. In the red zone too, the Bills were in the Jags game. Bills went 3-3, and Jacksonville went 3-4. That one, the one trip to the red zone where it was 4th and 1. They're within the 10-yard line. They're within 10 yards of the goal line, and they went for it, and we stopped them. Turnover on downs when they could have. I mean, you can look at that both ways. It was a chip shot, guaranteed 3 points. You're in a wild card game, but I can see the other side of that coin where you go for the touchdown and you score as many points as you can as possible, as fast as you can when you're playing the Josh Allen and Buffalo Bills.
Yeah. I mean, on that statement, I just want to add something on there.
Yeah, go for it.
I just want to argue my point here.
All right.
When you're in the playoffs and third down, if you're in field goal range, you got to take the points. That's really something you can't jeopardize. I mean, if it's like 4th and goal versus 4th and 20, then there's a difference. But 4th and short, like if it's 4th and 5 to 8, you got to take the points. You got to take the most likely easy field goal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really in the playoffs. Even the drive doesn't get touchdown.
I hear your point. I hear you.
Yep.
Oh, that's the washing machine. Okay. We were both like, what was that noise?
Okay, yeah. Buffalo, they won the turnover battle 2-1, I think.
Yep.
Which ranked them top 5 among playoff teams in turnover margin. When was our turnover? When did we turn over the ball? Might have been on downs or. I mean, no one fumbled.
You're right.
Yeah.
No, there was a turnover. They had 2, and I know the 2 interceptions that they threw. So for the Bills, wasn't it a fumble? Did Josh Allen fumble it? You have to look that up. Yeah, the Bills turnover doesn't jump out at me, but anyways, they and with all the talk of Cam Little, hitting 70-yard field goals in preseason and 68 and 67 in the regular season. A weird play at the very end where it really did not look like they got the snap off in time, but they gave it to him anyways, put a second back on the clock. I think it was a 45-yard field goal to end it, and it went wide left, and it was an awesome momentum boost because it just felt like we got robbed with giving them that last play. And they got this kicker that can kick 70 yards, and he doesn't even make it. And then Prater, he was a perfect 3 on the extra points and two field goals. Kicked I think he kicked a 45-yarder.
Yeah.
It was a good one. But who would have thought, with all of that coming in, that the Bills would have had the edge in field goal in special teams in that. Because when we broke it down in the podcast earlier, that was one of the keys to the games where I was really nervous about it coming down to 3 points.
Yeah.
But that's not how it played out.
Okay. Go on the turnovers real quick. The turnover was the kickoff where Ray Davis fumbled it and Jacksonville got it back.
Yep,
that was
Yep.
It was early in the first.
I
or
totally
late.
remember that. Yeah, he was looking like really good. It's like, oh yeah. Then the ball.
Ray Davis is, he's got to be one of the best kick returners. He got 1 touchdown, and then versus Tampa, he had a really long one. He's just a good kick returner. And
definitely.
Yeah. Talk about special teams. Yeah, Prater's not 100%, so we got to put that in mind next week.
Coming up?
Yeah.
For Denver, he's not 100%.
Okay, do you want to move on to quarterbacks?
Well, actually, we haven't even started breaking down the. Oh wait, yes, we have. Okay, yeah. So we'll. No. We just broke down the Jaguars game. Yeah, so we'll talk about Denver, and that's our opponent this week. We're going to Denver, and yeah, we'll start with the quarterbacks. For Buffalo, it's Josh Allen. kind of what we already talked about in the last pod with the Jaguars. And here, let me turn the. Okay, that was just.
We're good, guys. So,
All right.
yeah.
So, yeah. Josh Allen has 25 touchdowns, which is 9th in the league, and 10 interceptions. What is that?
Okay. Yeah, Josh Allen has, I'll take it off for you. Tied 9th with 25 passing touchdowns, 10 receptions, which is 10th among all the high passes in the league. 102.2 pass ratings, like top 7 league-wide. Okay, also,
Nice.
efficiency matters too. Okay, let's go on our little mini segment here. Josh Allen has completed about 69.3% of his passes, which is pretty good. Top 8, averages about 8 yards per attempt. I mean, think about it. If you get 8 yards every play, go down the field instantly. But third in the NFL, he was sacked 40 times, ranking in the top half of the league, despite heavy usage.
Yeah,
Josh Allen running, and I mean, some of the sacks could be like a half a yard. You know, he's just trying to scramble and they trip him up. Yeah,
still a lot of sacks though. But yeah, in contrast to that, Bo Nix threw for 3,900 yards, 25 touchdowns. That's 9th in the league. And his completion percentage is 63%. So
yeah,
to Josh Allen's about 69.3. And he averages about 6.4 yards per attempt compared to Josh Allen's 8. So yeah, like you said, that's a big difference in the offense there. But the question is, you know, and I think that's what this game will, you know, kind of comes down to, and I'll give my final thoughts later. But what it's going to be is, you know, the strength of the Bills' offense versus the strength of the Denver defense.
Yeah, I mean, tell you something. Buffalo wins with big plays. Denver will win with, you know, volume, structure. I mean, they have Brandon Cooks, who had that big catch. You know, he's on his like 7th team, something. But yeah, that's really the key to the game, I'll say.
Yeah, and with the Bills' offense averaging 8 yards per pass, like I said, it's going against a defense that's allowing just 6.1 yards per pass, 2nd in the league. They're like 1st, 2nd, and 3rd in so many defensive statistical categories. It's nuts. So we're facing a similar defense to Jacksonville, but better. You know, definitely better up front, much better up front.
Yeah. So talking about passing defense that we're on now.
Yep.
Okay, so Denver allowed 3,606 passing yards, 11th in the league, despite facing one of the highest pass volumes in the league. They're built to limit efficiency, not attempts.
Yeah.
That's what I think about Denver. Really, just, you know, they're efficient. That's who they are.
Yeah. Buffalo's defense, you know, they're 1st in the league, in yards per attempt, which, you know, sometimes comes to surprise to people. You know, because you don't think of Buffalo this season as having a great defense when you compare them to a team like the Broncos. But when it comes to passing defense, and we saw it in Jacksonville, and hopefully we'll be getting. I think we might be getting Cole Bishop back and possibly Ed Oliver back, which will be huge. So you know, we'll see how we can limit Bo Nix in their offense.
Okay, so you said you're talking about Ed Oliver.
Yeah.
You said Oliver. He
You
is
got the
on.
injury report?
He's on IR actually.
Well, I know, but he can come off IR
Yeah.
this week.
So
for
do you
this
want to
game.
give a little injury report right now? So Bernard's questionable. Harrison's questionable. Gabe Davis, Curtis
He's out.
Samuel. Yeah, they're on IR. I don't think.
Curtis Samuel can come back this week too.
Yeah, might be able to. He has a elbow/neck injury. Tyrell Shavers is out. Ty Johnson's questionable, and Jordan Phillips is on injured reserve. So those are our key injuries. Also, it's going down a little bit more. Prater is questionable, but I think now he might be a bit better. Poyer is out. His hamstring. And pretty sure he's expected to come back, maybe even Super Bowl weekend if we make it there.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think
That's the goal.
we don't have
Super Bowl.
a ton of really big guys on there, but some NFL teams have more, some may have less.
Well, Denver's probably got less because the last game of the season, they had everything wrapped up, so they weren't even starting their starters in week 18. Then they had a bye week, so whatever injuries they've had time to heal them, and we haven't. We're on a short week. Thank you, NFL.
Yeah.
It's not fair. I mean, I understand the bye week, but the short week.
It's only 1 day shorter, though. It's not like
Thursday 1 day
night.
shorter.
It's
a big deal.
But also,
It's a big deal.
I also just cut you off there real quick. Denver has like one player that's questionable. Everyone else is like Super Bowl weekend not available. So yeah, they don't have as many injuries
They're
as
not
us.
going to the Super Bowl.
Well, they have to face us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's really the injuries. We're losing the injury battle. And our defense really I think our defense kind of shines in the playoffs. I mean, that game versus Jacksonville, one of the best offenses in the league. It's crazy. The first drive, interception, 3 and out,
Well, the first drive was 3 and out, yeah. And then the last drive was an interception.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they showed up. Even though Jordan Hancock, here's the thing with Jordan Hancock, he didn't have the greatest game, but he didn't even know that he was going to be starting at the beginning of the week. So let's cut him a little break. If he's getting the start this week, he's going to be having reps with the starters, knowing that he's going to be starting.
Yeah.
And
reviewing film, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and hopefully he performs better than he did against Jacksonville. Okay, let's go on. Let's move on to the rushing, the offense and defense. So the Bills rushing is number 1 in the league. We all know that. James Cook. We average Buffalo rushed 2,700 yards, which ranks first in the NFL.
5 yards to carry. Wow.
Yeah, 5 yards per carry. Go ahead, Mason. What you were going to say?
Yeah, just second in the league. I mean, 5 yards to carry is pretty good because you can average around, maybe they'll have a big play, you might get 7 yards, might get stopped, but you probably could, run the first 2 plays, could be third and short, passive, but, they're not going to do that. I think rushing is just a solid part for the Bills. Then they pass it. Might do passing. James Cook, he's become more of a wide receiver. But yeah, we got a good.
He can play that. I mean, screen passes and even sometimes in the play action, short little throws to him, but he can bust out for a lot of yak yards after that.
Yeah. So I really so Denver run defense is elite. They allowed only 1,548 rushing yards, third in the league. 3.9 yards per carry, it's also third. And the front 7, which is defensive line and middle linebackers, all that stuff, they're good. They're physical, disciplined, and every time it's a rush, they're there. Every time it's a pass, they're there. So it's really something you have to watch out. Josh Allen's foot, his head, he has a lot of injuries, banged up, but I think
Jacksonville was jumping on his head. I don't know if you noticed or heard about that.
Yeah, but that's going to be something to watch for. Josh Allen, what's kind of weird to me? Why would they do the QB blast on one of those plays? It was 3rd and 4, QB rush, whatever it was. I'm talking Madden terms, but it was kind of stupid to do that when he's he's better when he runs the pocket. The play breaks down. He's better doing that. But, when they're just...
So what are you talking about, the tush push or something else?
No. I'm talking about when it was 3rd and 4, and they just ran at Josh Allen. He got 1 yard, and then he stopped.
Oh, okay.
I don't think they should be doing that next week. So, it's injuries. So, I think
So scramble out.
Something
You
to
mean
look
like scramble out of the pocket?
Yeah,
where he's got
not
some
like
wide open
designed
space.
runs. If you can design run, do it on like inches, do it with touch push or.
Well, no, I like the designed runs.
No, well,
Sometimes he could pick up like 20, 30, 40 yards in those designed runs.
yeah, but sometimes you can pick up one, and get injured. That's
Yeah,
the
but the
thing.
design runs aren't
You don't
usually.
want to make that risk.
The design run isn't like a running back run into a pile. When Josh Allen has designed a run, he scrambles a little bit, and then he usually he sees some open space, and he could outrun the DBs, and he can get a chunk play. It doesn't always work. Sometimes when it doesn't work, when it's not designed and it's just kind of like a broken play, and things are developing really fast, and he gets sacked or caught, or he's just looking for the pass, and he's looking for the pass, and then then he's looking for the pass, and then he gets sacked sometimes, but sometimes he turns it into a first down by throwing it off the back heel of his foot and across his body to the center field.
Yeah.
He can complete those kind of plays, but I'm a big fan. I like the designed runs. I want to see more of them.
Yeah, but I mean,
I don't care.
Design runs and
if he
QB
gets-
blasts are two different things. QB blasts, he just runs in the pile. I like design
Right.
runs. I don't want to see more Josh Allen run in the pile,
Okay,
getting half a yard,
I gotcha.
and then getting injured. Yeah,
I gotcha.
two different things. But if they do more design runs, that'll be kind of cool. Remember how they had that versus Kansas City last year? Might have been the playoffs or regular season. Had that huge run. It was crazy. But I don't even think that was designed. Yeah, Josh Allen, when the play breaks down, no one open, he will use his legs.
You could tell when they're designed because he just basically runs almost right away. He tries to fake them out a little bit,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. He does a lot of pump
there's-
fakes,
yeah.
Even could be on the way past line of scrimmage, he'll still do that and fake the guy out.
Mm-hmm.
Just, if Josh has an injury to his legs, then that could be something that might limit those run plays. Okay, yeah, you want to take on...
Yeah, let's get back on
Denver?
track. Denver's defense, we're still talking about. They've got 68 sacks, which is first in the league, and it's 11 more sacks than the second-ranked team, which is crazy. So just like we were talking about just now in the conversation just now, is he's gonna be scrambling. He's gonna feel pressure constantly. And I know he's going to expect to feel the pressure constantly, and he's going to be looking for open receivers, and that's definitely, James Cook can definitely be a scapegoat. Dalton Kincaid, when he's healthy, he's our number 3 wide receiver in the regular season.
Kincaid?
Yeah,
Talking about? Yeah.
not, even just all stats combined, he's the number. Two of our top 3 receivers are tight ends, Knox and Kincaid.
Yeah, then we have Shakir
And then Shakir.
probably Coleman, maybe? I don't
And
know.
then Coleman's 4th, yeah.
Coleman or...
That's how the regular season ended. Coleman kind of had a bounce back moment, making a big catch in a big moment.
Yeah.
That's all it takes for a fan base to forgive and forget and to get on board. Is you just gotta shine in the big moments.
Yeah. So, I feel like King Coleman, if he plays good in these playoffs, then they'll be thinking about how we can take this next step for him and how we can really transform into a star elite wide receiver, not just makes one catch. But yeah, King Coleman, he's gonna I really want to see him progress. I don't want
You don't want to
to
give
see
up on
them
him.
I don't want to give up on him. Yeah.
You haven't given up on him yet. I understand.
Okay, so the Buffalo's in defense where you could just they're not really good at stopping the run. You have to account for the pass rush. You have to do, the rushing. They're really just a really well established defense,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't lean on late without earning it. Kind of want to say.
Right. Yeah. No, I know
No.
what you're saying. Yeah. They're not great at stopping the run. Luckily, Denver is
Not a great run team.
Yeah, like a middle of the road running team.
Well,
J.K. Dobbins
he's out.
He's not expected to play. R.J. Harvey.
R.J. Harvey is a rookie too.
R.J. Harvey.
Yeah, he's actually on my fantasy team. If you want to know.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
He did pretty good, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was a running back by committee, and now
He's a good pick.
now the committee is solely on R.J. Harvey.
Yeah.
So they're in middle of the road. They only get about 4.5 yards per carry on average, and
we got 5 yards carry. So.
Yeah, but we're not good at stopping the run.
Yeah.
So kind of a balance, kind of a situation where those two things, or all those things, kind of balance each other out. Overall, when you look at the entire scope of things, Denver has only allowed 311 points all season long, which is third in the league. And Buffalo has allowed 365 points, which is still top of the league. They're 12th in that category. But Denver defense is the reason why they're in the playoffs this season. It's not because of their offense.
Okay. Yeah, so that's really yeah. So where am I here? Yeah, Denver only allows 4.5 yards per play. Second league. Buffalo allows 5.2. 15th. I mean, those 0.7 yards make a huge difference in rankings, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I really think Buffalo, I mean, I don't think that Denver, not really known for those big plays. They're just known for steady, consistent plays that will slowly chip away at the defense.
Yeah.
Fatigue them and really make them, how do I say this? Really just fatigue them, you know, fatigue the defense.
Long, sustained drives, wears down the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Buffalo, they can kind of counter their defense with our offense because we've scored, I mentioned that Denver's only allowed, 311 points, third in the league. Well, we've scored 481, which is fourth in the league in scoring. So, that's where those two things go head to head. And we'll see if our offensive strength, how we're built, where basically we're asking Josh Allen to carry the team. We don't have elite wide receivers. We don't have Cortland Sutton. Did I say that right? Cortland Sutton.
Mm-hmm. Cortland Sutton.
We don't have Cortland Sutton. We don't have a number one wide receiver. We're asking Josh Allen to carry the team. That's what I think is sustainable for this season. I think that he can do it. I think when it comes down to Bo Nix and Josh Allen, it's going to be Josh Allen that's going to win. I think when it comes down to Josh Allen or Trevor Lawrence, it's going to be Josh Allen.
Yeah.
And he's the kind of person you can ask to carry the team. Not everyone's built like that. We know from Buffalo, Jack Eichel was not willing or able to carry a team.
Sam Reinhart, put him into maybe. I mean, he was.
Well, the pressure wasn't put on Sam Reinhart like it was Eichel.
I'm
That's why I'm making that comparison.
So my school project, I'm researching LeBron James.
Okay.
I learned that when he was with Cleveland versus the Celtics, it was not with Cleveland, with the Heat.
Yeah.
Played Celtics, lost first game. He played great. He got 33 points. Teammates, Dwayne Wade, had 13 points. But all the pressure was really put on him. I mean, he played a great game. All the criticism comes towards him. That's really what you're saying about.
Yeah, but on that Heat team that he played in,
there's great players on it.
Yeah.
Dwayne Wade. Trying to think who else was on there. All right, we're getting off topic here. Team. But yeah.
But in Cleveland, you're right. In Cleveland, and then even when he went back in Cleveland the first time, especially, was a team that was just built around him.
Yeah.
And then when he came back for his second stint, it really wasn't much different. and he was able to carry that team to a victory. That's actually a perfect analogy.
Yep.
When he came back without LeBron James on that team, or the next year or the year before, they were just an average team. And with him, they won the championship. That's exactly what I think Josh Allen is going to do for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, without Josh
season.
Allen.
I know we don't have elite wide receivers. You know?
That's actually so. That's what we're going to get on here. Wide receivers.
Okay.
So we don't have one great wide receiver. Like Diggs was that guy, sort of. He was that guy when he was open, throw to him.
He was.
But we do have a nice
guy,
depth.
yeah.
We have 4th in scoring, 13 in passing yards.
Yep.
Shakir has 719. We don't have a single 1,000-yard receiver.
Right.
But outside the top 25, Keenan Coleman at a 404. I mean, he missed like 5 games, so that's something to really. That's some promise.
It's a problem.
Ranking bottom half. Yeah.
Yep.
Also put it on there versus Denver. Gabe Davis, Tyler Shavers out. ACL will be out for the rest of the season, and probably coming back next year. Hopefully, if they actually stay. But yeah, it's really something to look out for our receivers. I mean, Shakir is our number 1 wide receiver. I want to see him develop. I want to see Coleman. Maybe some of the
I want to see Kincaid get involved.
Yeah. Curtis Samuel, we have him. He hasn't done much. Joshua Palmer, he's also out. So we have like 4 receivers that are good for us. They're out, you know?
And I don't know about.
But we also have our tight ends.
You know our 3rd tight end, Jackson Hawes?
Yeah.
Is he active?
Yeah. Yes, he's active.
Okay. Why'd you mute that? Okay. So anyways.
He is active.
Okay. So, yeah. So I'm going to say it again. Cortland Sutton. He did get 1,000 yards this season, which ranks him in the top 15. And he had 7 touchdowns. So he's their number 1 that we're going to have to try to shut down.
Yeah. I just want to, sorry, going off topic here, but as the Bills.
Here we go again.
Play more, they play like a lot of zone. Like they just put a bunch of players there, I think what they should do is they just play man and have a couple zone safeties, you know?
Yeah.
Do that. I'm not like defensive coach here, but maybe put 1 QB spy on Bo Nix. Don't know what he could do. We played him last year, blew him out, but he's got
I don't know about a QB spy, but
maybe like
he does.
Maybe a
he
pass
does run.
Yeah, he's running a little bit.
I think he rushed for like over 300 yards this season.
Josh Allen's like 500 rushing.
I'd have to double check on
I'll
that.
have to double check
I don't
that
know if it's 500. But with the running backs, you know, Cook is cooking, and you know he's 2nd in the league, 1st in the league in rushing yards. Averages 2nd in the league in 5.2 yards per carry. So that's elite. That's top of the league. 12 rushing touchdowns. That is good for top 10.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the Denver side of things?
Okay, yeah. So Denver side backfield is really different, you know. Talk about running backs here.
Excuse me. Yep.
Yeah. J.K. Dobbins out. Not going to play. R.J. Harvey could be a starting running back. He's a rookie, you know. And
do you know what college you went to?
No, I do not.
Oh, you usually know that stuff. That's why I put
do.
you on the spot there.
Yeah, well, next time.
I thought you were going to be like Oklahoma,
probably
Alabama.
I mean,
it's all right. Go ahead.
Yeah. So
he's
gonna be starting with the Broncos backfield season. Denver finished 19th in rushing. I mean, that's with. J.K. Dobbins might be a little bit higher, healthy, and 17th in yards per carry, but more pressure on Bo Nix in the offense.
Yeah,
to really
because their running back is, but then again, you know, the running R.J. Harvey, he did a really good job. He's no slouch. I'm not sure where he ranks in the league in terms of yards, but they're facing a weak run defense. So even though they've got, you know, an average running back, and their defense is what carries them, they might actually rely a little bit on the running game against such a weak run defense, and try to get 100 yards on the ground with RJ Harvey.
Yeah,
and not put so much pressure on Bo Nix, but we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, so you went to UCF, and talking about the running backs here for Denver. Their running back room is a whole lot of this. That's their running back room right now.
Quiet?
Yeah, a whole lot of nothing. Say.
A whole lot of nothing.
So James Cook back there and Ray Davis looking better. So, yeah, just want to see these running games, see how Harvey is. Really get a feel. I mean, Jacksonville is Travis Etienne. Not Trevor Etienne? Sorry.
Travis Etienne.
Travis Etienne. Think of Travis Hunter and Trevor Lawrence. I got a lot of T names in there. Travis Hunter. But yeah, that's going to be a fun comparison. I mean, Etienne played good, but I like to see how Harvey plays. I mean, he played.
Etienne's Jacksonville.
Yeah, I'm just talking about last week how the Bills are going to stop the run.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they stopped him a little bit.
Last week to this week, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Ready to go on the next position on our little carousel. Tight ends.
All right,
the
tight
Bills
ends.
have.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the Bills have versatility. Dalton Kincaid, 14.6 yards per catch.
Mm-hmm.
Top 5 among tight ends. Dawson Knox has 4 touchdowns. Top 15 in the position.
Nice. Yeah, Denver's tight ends, they're not as productive as Buffalo. They got Evan Ingram over there. He's got something like 461 yards, something like that. Mostly just, every once in a while, a couple, maybe
first down,
4 or 5 targets a game. For first downs often. But not as explosive as, Knox. He hasn't really been explosive since, the beginning of his career.
Maybe Tampa. Well,
but
he's not
recently
showing his young career. He's actually younger than Josh Allen.
Yeah.
He's in 7th season. Josh Allen's 8th.
Okay. But recently he's been, he's shown that he's still, he's still athletic, and with Kincaid and them together, that's kind of like that's our passing game, and then whoever else. It's not going to be Palmer this week. I think he's injured.
Yeah, he's out.
Shakir.
He's good.
Possibly Curtis Samuel. We got Coleman.
Coleman. I don't think he's even been injured this entire season. Because, availability is the best ability. So.
Yeah, that's right. I have heard that once before somewhere.
It's just probably from me.
Yeah, it was from you. A wise man once said, and you're a wise man.
Okay, So
when you take a step back, Buffalo brings a top 5 offense, a number 1 rushing attack, and playoff momentum.
Playoff experience, too.
And a lot of playoff experience, but about 16 games of playoff experience between Josh Allen and in the whole McDermott era. And I don't know, I'm pretty sure last year was Bo Nix's first playoff game, but I'd have to look into that. And we beat him in a wild card game, so he might just be 0-1. I'm not sure. But, a top 5 offense versus a top 3 defense. Reps versus rest. Obviously, we're not rested. We're on a short week. But again, we just got to go 1-0. I know that's how they always say they always approach things that way. Just got to go 1-0, and I'm of that mindset right now too. I mean, just go down to Denver and beat Denver. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be loud. It's going to be the altitude. Hopefully, it doesn't go to overtime for that reason, and just make one play better than Denver. That's all I need. I know that last week was hard to watch, on people's hearts, because it was just so what's going to happen here, because it's
touchdown.
Yeah, and different scoring changes, And it's a playoffs. It's one and done. When you're done, you're done.
Yeah.
And then the mood changes. And then when you win, man, all I wanted to do after that Bills game last week was just think
Scream.
about the game in my head over and over again.
Yeah. We actually just no angels after it. That was
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, we never even got to the debate. The debate of the Jaguars game, which I kind of have to mention, even though I kind of move on to. So let me just mention this really quick. So,
okay.
Jaguars were out of timeouts. They had no timeouts. There's a minute 5 seconds left. The Bills had the ball on the 1 yard line.
1 inch line, really?
No, I think it was 1 yard.
Oh,
it was clearly like 1 yard back, and because I went back and rewatched it, and the big debate is why didn't he just kneel to bring the clock down to 0? He had 4 downs to go. He could have kneeled twice, brought it down to 0 essentially, or 5 seconds, and then did the quarterback, the tush push. When they did score, the Jaguars let him score. They just kind of like let him score because they wanted. Then they had a minute and 3 to get to field goal range with Cam Little, who can kick 70 yards in the preseason, 68 in the regular season.
Yeah, that's on record.
And all they really needed was 2 quick completions to get into 1 or 2 to get into field goal range. If they would have completed the original throw that we intercepted on the end of the game, if the guy would have just caught it right there and not ran after that, they would have needed, they still would have needed another at least 10 more yards or at least 10 more yards
maybe
after
like
that.
20. Okay,
Yeah.
So here's my thought on that. So
Hold on. Before you give me your thought. So what happened today was Sean McDermott was asked about it. And what he said was, I thought about it. I raised my hand. I said I want to bleed the clock out. And Joe Brady, OC Joe B, said, no, let's score. So this all probably was processing in like seconds, So then, based on what McDermott said, is he overruled himself and said, okay, let's score. There's so many, he looked at, what's so cool about what he said to the media is he told us what he was thinking in the moment. He let us into his headspace.
yeah. Okay,
And no, seriously, but we have to think about that for a second. That's really, really cool that it wasn't just, whatever, just score. And then he didn't even really think about, all the consequences or what he could have done or different. No, he did think about all of that. And ultimately, he chose the decision that ended up with the best result. So it's hard to argue with that. There's 2 sides to that. There's definitely 2 sides, and there's no right, there's no wrong. It's debatable, but I'm glad that he said, yeah, I debated it in my mind too. And this is what I went with, and this is what worked out. Okay,
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mason.
So I really think if the Bills are on minute 5 left, I think what the Bills could have done is they could have really ran it to get like half a yard, then go down without losing any yards.
Yep.
Or kneel, because kneeling loses like a yard too.
Kneeling loses a yard, but I don't even know if they were like think this and anticipate this or practice this.
The Bills could
If the Jags are going to say, let him score, then you could like run up to that white line and put your knee on the ground right there.
Yeah.
Especially if they're not expecting it. But like if they, a lot of things could happen. There could be a fumble. Remember that game against Minnesota a couple years ago?
Oh yeah.
When we lost the game within like 3 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Well,
it was
it was overtime lost because they were on like the 1 yard line.
Yeah, on the 1 yard line.
1 inch line, then it was
going the other way.
Fumbled it, and it was like a safety.
No, it was the fumble, and then they scored the touchdown. Yeah, so a lot of crazy things could happen at the end of the game that you don't expect. So good on them for staying the course, closing it out, winning it, and because of that, we're going to Denver to play the Broncos in the AFC Divisional.
Yeah. But here's what I would
matchup.
do. Here's what I would do.
Yeah.
I would just, kneel it once. I would burn the clock once. Now you have only 20 seconds left. Get a couple first downs. Then you can go and score. They have like 20 seconds left to score. I think that's what they should have done, but it worked out. So that's really all I care about.
It worked out. Yep. You're right. That's all that really matters.
That's chess match.
That'll
be the game.
That's so are you saying that's because that was mentioned on this thread that McDermott's decision, I won't say who said it. McDermott's decision was him playing chess while other coaches he was playing checkers while smarter coaches like Andy Reid or someone plays chess.
Yeah. Well,
I did not. That did not come out very smooth, but
okay.
Do you get the point? The point is, So what?
Smarter decisions, smarter methods. But okay.
What do you think he's playing? Chess or checkers? Is basically my question.
Okay. Yeah, that's gonna be an exciting game. Where are you gonna watch your game?
Okay.
Where are you gonna watch it?
Where am I watching it? Right above the studio.
Yeah. Maybe I'll join you.
I hope you do. Absolutely. Yeah. We 4:30 Saturday. Yeah, we're going to be watching it, and hopefully the next time we have a podcast, we'll be talking about the win. We'll be breaking down either
Texans,
New England
or Patriots
or Houston. Yeah.
Yeah.
Houston looked CJ Stroud looked horrible.
I mean, they had 2 defensive touchdowns
last night.
Yeah. So.
Then they started. Then it was kind of like their defense just woke up.
Like, oh, we have to play now.
Yeah, and they just started rolling, and then Aaron Rodgers was just like,
ooh.
yeah, he was getting knocked. He was getting knocked around, and then
bad.
The last play of the game was him throwing a pick six, and then he wanted, he was running to hit the interceptor, the guy who intercepted the ball, and even that just looked horrible. He hit the guy, but didn't really knock him off his path or anything. He still scored.
Yeah, but okay, that's a good podcast, you guys.
Yeah.
Also want to
number 5
round things out. If you want to go on Buzzsprout, check out Argue Point Podcast. We now have you can send us some fan mail. What do you think on our podcast? So that's gonna be
on Buzzsprout.
Yep, on Buzzsprout. If you go on www.arguepoint.com, check out the big embedded part of the podcast. You can go on Buzzsprout, search us up, and yeah.
Well, Buzzsprout, I thought is just where we host the podcast.
Yeah, well,
it's where you get fan mail too.
I think so. Yeah, we'll see.
All right.
Okay.
Well, if not, we'll set something up. I also want to set something up like
you guys call in.
Yeah. No. If someone wants to be a guest, they can maybe even schedule it on the website. That's arguepoint.com.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're excited, and send us out, Mason.
Okay.
See you guys.